Hi, everyone. Hey, since we had quite a few people who missed class today, and since this is the only class that we have this week and we are shifting into our essay, I wanted to make a really quick video just to get you up to speed and maybe help you shift focus on this week where we're not meeting very often. All right. So I've opened our third module. I have a shortcut to our next essay right here, even though it's still part of our writing project 3. But let's go ahead and open our third module, and I just want to go over it really quickly. Okay, so what we've been doing up until this point, we've been doing the research process. We've been out there, we've had this research question about this topic, something that we wanted to find out more information about, and we've gone out and we've been reading these sources. We've collected 5 meaningful, credible sources, and we've been reading them, or we're in the process of reading them. You don't have to have them all memorized yet, but we're in the process of reading them and learning information. Okay, that's the first part. We need to gather that information. We need to learn. The next part is for us to share what we have learned with an audience, with our reader. And that's going to be in the form of an essay. So that's the next step. And so this is a module, and don't be too intimidated, even though we only have like 3 weeks left in class. Most of this includes handouts and tutorials and things that will help us get to that point. So if you open up right here, and I have a shortcut on our homepage to our assignment directions. We are going to be writing this essay. It's going to be a 1,000-word essay. So it's not too long, but it's not too short. Think of it as maybe, 2 pages single-spaced, 4 pages double-spaced, but 1,000 words, where we are going to share information, the information we have found, to our audience. And this whole movement between doing research and writing an annotated bibliography to then writing an essay, that's awkward. That's hard. That's hard for me. I love to research. I can research forever because I know as long as I'm researching, I'm not having to write an essay. And so it's awkward. And so there's some certain moves that will help us get to that. We have all this information in our head and at our fingertips. How do we then share that? And so read over this. It kind of breaks things down on the kind of the expected conventions or characteristics of this type of essay. So it's going to have that introduction. It's going to have a thesis where we are going to tell our audience, even though it's informational, we're not sharing an argument. We're not sharing opinions or extending a call to action. We are informing our audience. And so the thesis for this will basically be, this is what few people know. This is what I'm going to tell you about. And we're going to use the style of a surprise reversal thesis statement, and we'll talk about that next week. But read over this. I use the word synthesis in this assignment purposefully. Okay, synthesis simply means gathering of different things and bringing them together. So we're gathering different types of information, different articles, and we're bringing them together into this new whole, into this new essay in a way that nobody else has ever done it before. We're creating new knowledge with this. And that's where the synthesis comes from. We are going to kind of organize and gather what we have learned and share it with our audience, and the conclusion. Okay, so I flew through that really fast. Read over that. Come back on Tuesday with lots of questions, and we'll talk more about it. Okay. And so I have an activity here that will help us, and I'm going to get into that for just a minute. But look over the module so you can see what's coming up. We're going to be talking about outlining how to organize our information in a way that's logical and meaningful, and we'll have activities with that. We'll talk about how to weave in sources, okay, quotes and paraphrasing, all of this information that we've gathered. How do we weave it into our writing so that it becomes part of our essay instead of these like clunky extra things that are never really incorporated? All right, we will be talking about citation and doing this citations quiz, but if you look at the instructions, we're doing that as a class. So don't worry about doing that on your own. And then that's it. Then we're getting into a rough draft and peer review. So it's going to be quick, but we've already done a bulk of the behind the scenes work that goes into this type of essay. So over this next week, even though we're not meeting, one thing that I find really helpful that we did in class today, but I think it's so helpful that I want to invite you all to do it also, is to start mapping out the information that we've gathered. This is kind of that transitional move that moves us from gathering information to sharing information. First of all, we have to see what information we have. And so this is a template. Find a big sheet of paper and some pencils and start getting things down on paper. Let me move this so that, there we go. At the top of your paper, write out that research question so you have that in front of you. That's your purpose. The whole purpose of this paper is to inform your audience about the answer to this research question. And then list them out. List the authors or organizations, if they're organizations. List the titles of the article, and then list what points that you find in each of these articles that you find most meaningful or compelling, things that you learned that you want to share with your audience. List them out, okay? Because after you do that, then you can take a break, go for a walk, take a nap, have a snack, and come back to this and look, okay, what have I gathered? What do I have to work with here? And you're going to pick several things that are meaningful to you, that you think, okay, this is what I found the most interesting. This is what I want to write about. And right here, I have the next move here at the bottom of your map. Write those out, okay? Write about what did you find most compelling? What information did they contain? What stood out for you? Write those points out that you want to talk about, that you want to incorporate into your essay. And then here, imagine you're sharing this information with a friend. What is the order of information that you need to give them? Okay, think about what you need. It's kind of like telling a story of information. What needs to be at the beginning of the story, what needs to be at the middle, and what needs to be at the end. Obviously, if we're sharing some new information on weightlifting or something like that, we have to first define what that topic is and maybe give some history or some common knowledge in the beginning that we can then build on. Okay, so there's a logical flow or a logical order of information. Number those, okay? And then that will give you this rough, very rough outline of the progression of your essay and then the information that you want to share. So I wanted to share this with you because I want, even if you weren't in class, I want you to use it, and we're going to, and then bring it back to class on Tuesday because we're going to continue to refer to it. All right? Other than that, just look over everything. Look over the module and just get used and look over the assignment. Come to class on Tuesday with questions, but before then, and nothing needs to be turned in by Tuesday. Okay? No homework on Tuesday. Just kind of get ready and get this in your mind and start thinking about it. But have a really good Thanksgiving, and let me know if you have any questions, okay? All right, y'all take care.